So for today, I'm going to be making spicy black pepper steak, and I'm going to be making orange chicken. Two really good Chinese takeout recipes. I love them to death. And so it's going to be really easy today. It's not going to be very difficult to make these. Honestly, they don't require a lot of ingredients. And honestly, in my opinion, you're better off making orange chicken at home. I'm not going to say don't support local, definitely. But it is easy to make at home, and you can make it a tad bit healthier than normal. You can skip the deep frying. You can just go straight to cuts of chicken that you sear, and then you can add the sauce. You can use less sugar and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and make some spicy black pepper steak and some orange chicken.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with our pepper steak. So I'm using 1 pound of flank steak, and it's so great because you can see where the sinews run, so you can cut against the grain properly. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and slice this up before I start marinating it. All right, so then we're gonna put our steak in a bowl, and we're gonna add in a tablespoon of soy sauce, a tablespoon of oyster sauce, and a tablespoon of cornstarch as well. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and add some pepper. Remember, this is pepper steak, so I'm gonna add a lot of pepper after I add in the tablespoon of cornstarch. And I would say maybe 6 tablespoons of black pepper, fresh ground black pepper, but honestly, like it's pepper steak, so it's gonna have a lot of pepper, but do it to taste, of course. All right, and for the sauce, we're gonna go ahead and add in 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then a tablespoon of dark soy sauce. If you don't have it, that's fine. About a 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of chicken broth. Then I'm gonna come through with a tablespoon of brown sugar. It's optional, but it is recommended to put brown sugar in this recipe. About a teaspoon of ginger, lots and lots of fresh ground pepper again. So this is probably going to be 3 to 4 tablespoons. If you can't take a lot of, fresh ground black pepper, that's fine. You don't have to use as much, but you can tell I'm kind of going crazy on it here. Anyway, so oyster sauce, a tablespoon of that. It's going to be used quite a bit, and honestly, if you don't have oyster sauce, it's worth having in your pantry. I keep it in my fridge, of course, because you may need it in the future. And I'm going to add in a tablespoon of hoisin sauce there and give this a good mix. This is going to go in later on after we're done cooking our veggies and our steak. Okay, so for the produce for the pepper steak, we're using a green and a red bell pepper. And I'm just going to cut these into triangles just because I wanted it to be funny or cute or something. I don't know. But I'm going to add them in. You can slice them if you want. And I'm also going to work through some Fresno chilies as well. I want this pretty spicy. You can skip the chilies. You don't have to have it spicy. It's perfectly fine. Okay, so for the final piece of produce for the pepper steak, I'm just going to go ahead and start slicing through a white onion. I'm using a whole white onion here. All right, and so for the orange chicken, I'm using about just over 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken thighs here. And you just want to cut them into bite-sized pieces. All right, now the fun part where your fingers get really super sticky. So we got 1/2 cup of cornstarch here, and we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of flour. Give that a good mix. And on the side, I got 2 beaten eggs here. I'm going to dip the little pieces of chicken in the beaten eggs, and then I'm going to put them in the flour because, again, this is fried. This chicken will be fried, so you can do the one wet hand, one dry hand method if you want. I am terrible at it, but I should show it. Okay, so for the orange chicken sauce, I'm going to go ahead and basically juice down a bunch of oranges here. I want fresh squeezed oranges, and it's going to be about a half a cup of fresh orange juice there. Then I'm going to add in a quarter cup of soy sauce, followed by a quarter cup of rice vinegar. And then you can use honey if you want to make this healthier, but I'm going to use brown sugar, so it's just going to be about a tablespoon of that. You really don't have to go crazy with it. If you want to add more, you can for more sweetness. And then right there I have some chili garlic oil. That gives it a little bit of heat, so that brings in that heat factor there. So I'm using about 2 tablespoons of that, and then a teaspoon of ginger, and then a tablespoon of garlic. And then I'm going to follow that up by zesting one of the oranges. Now into a hot pot, so I've got basically a Dutch oven here with some peanut oil in it, and I'm gonna go ahead and start frying my pieces of chicken. Okay, so while the chicken is frying, I'm gonna go ahead and start the steak. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the steak into a wok. You can use just a regular pan that you have around the house, a regular skillet or whatever, but I'm using a wok, and I have some oil in there, of course, and I'm going to go ahead and sear this really good before I go ahead and incorporate the veggies and then the sauce. Now, once the sauce is in, if you want this a little bit more thick, you can always introduce a cornstarch slurry, a couple tablespoons of cornstarch, a little bit of water, whisk it up, and then drop that in. But I want this a little bit more runny. All right, and once our chicken is done frying, I'm gonna go ahead and start the process of incorporating the sauce to it. So in my wok here, I have some oil, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop that chicken in, and then I'm gonna introduce the sauce. And to get it a little bit thicker, because you do want it to coat really well, so what you want to do is you want to slowly add a cornstarch slurry to it. You can just keep adding it as you go, but be careful because it'll thicken up pretty fast. So you'll see me doing this throughout this process, that I'm just adding a little bit, checking it, adding a little bit more, and checking it again. So it's kind of a careful little dance there. And we are done. Note, I did cook some white rice on the side, so you can definitely do that for yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and start off by plating the orange chicken, and then I'm going to bring in that pepper steak. And here's a really cool tip. You can actually just garnish the orange chicken with some slices of green onions. So I'm so excited to eat this. This has been smelling so good in my kitchen, and we're about there.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try this now. So here is the black peppered steak. This one is so good. I mean, it's much better than the one you get come on, from Panda Express or whatever. But it's super peppery, it's got a great flavor to it. I'm gonna move over to the orange chicken, which for me, I don't like orange chicken that's super sugary. I like the concept of orange chicken, but when you get it from Takeout or like Panda Express or something like that, it's a little too sugary. So I'm gonna go ahead and try a piece. This is really good. I mean, you get the flavor from all the orange zest and the orange juice that's in there, and not only that, you get the chilies in it too, so it gets a little bit of a kick. But this is awesome, and it's not super sugary, so it's not like you're drinking a bunch of sugar when you're eating this recipe. So, beyond that, thank you so much for watching the video. I highly appreciate the support. For anyone that's new to the channel, please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. Greatly appreciate you watching this video. And for all of my current subscribers, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate the support. So, I'm done here. I'm going, so have a good day, and if you have any recipes that you recommend to me to make, please leave in the comments below. I greatly appreciate it. See ya.